So it's officially fight week for Devin Haney and Vasyl Lomachenko. They fight this Saturday, May 20th, in Las Vegas on pay-per-view, in a fight that I guarantee y'all that Lomachenko is going to get washed in. I've been saying this since the beginning. It's not going to be close at all. Devin going to win at least 9 rounds to 3. Lomachenko might win 3 rounds, but I don't see him winning more than 3 rounds. But with it being fight week, there's a lot of media going on. Fighters doing media, teams doing media. And one of Devin Haney's coaches just did an interview with the Boxing Voice, and naturally, he got asked about Gervonta Tank Davis, the face of boxing. And specifically, he was asked about how Devin Haney was hurt by Jorge Linares. How would he stand up to the power of Gervonta Tank Davis? And this is what he had to say.
One thing you got to understand. When you got power and you can't get that target, that's when things happen. And a lot of guys, when they hit, when Tank hit them, they fold. They quit. You know what I'm saying? Like Gamboa, he didn't quit. He kept going because he's an Olympian, this and that. Just like Devin won't quit. When Linares hit Devin, everybody said, "Oh, it's over. Devin going down." But Devin, he regrouped. People don't understand when you in this fight game how you can do something and don't nobody understand. It was like, well, if he hit Devin, he gonna go down. No, he ain't.
On the other side of the TV, we look at it like, okay, Linares is a puncher, but he ain't punching like Tank. So if Linares could do that to Haney, what is Tank gonna do?
Well, what you don't understand is Linares was one of the best fighters out there. He had the belts, he had everything, and he was doing everything that he was supposed to do. Lomo beat him, you know what I'm saying? But he did drop Lomo, you know what I'm saying? And they said he don't have the power. Linares got the skill. I'm talking about the reason I know he got the skill, because I told Devin, I said, if you get past Linares, I don't see nobody else beating you, not even Tank. I think Linares' boxing skill, even when he went in there and he saw Devin's determination, how Devin just adapted to everything he did, boxed him, for 9 rounds like this. You know what happened to Devin? He tried to knock Linares out.
He did.
And that what caught him. When you in this fight game, when you go in there trying to knock somebody out, that's when you get knocked out, or that's when you get tested.
Yes. You just heard what you think you just heard. Devin Haney's coach said Linares might not have the power that Tank has, but he's more skilled than Tank. Yes, you just heard that. 35-year-old, 5 knockout loss, Linares was more skilled than Gervonta Tank Davis. That's what you just heard. This is why, when it comes to this fight between Tank and Devin Haney, the intangibles matter. And one of those intangibles is the corners. Give me Coach Calvin Ford and Coach Kenny Ellis over Devin Haney's corner any day of the week, because I just can't see how you can look at Jorge Linares at 35 years old and 5 knockout losses and say he's more skilled than Gervonta Davis. I just don't understand it, man. I don't understand. And that's what you're relying on in your corner. No disrespect to nobody, but that's what you're relying on in your corner. Give me Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis all day. And we all know what the other intangible is, which was the topic of the conversation, which is Devin Haney's chin. There's a question mark on Devin Haney's chin, just like there was a question mark on Ryan Garcia's chin. We knew that when Tank hit Ryan Garcia, like Luke Campbell hit Ryan Garcia and dropped him, that Tank was going to drop him too. We just knew it. So looking at this fight with Devin and Tank, if Jorge Linares fucked you up, had you doing a stinky leg, then we know when Gervonta Davis touches you, we can assume the same thing, if not worse, is going to happen. A lot of Devin Haney fans get in their feelings when you say that he has a questionable chin. Until proven otherwise, there's a question mark on that chin. They get in their feelings about that, but it's a fact. They got so many excuses about why Jorge Linares hurt Devin Haney. And one of the main things they say is, well, if Jorge Linares hurt him, why ain't nobody else hurt him? That was a fluke. Nobody else hurt him. Well, let's look at Devin's record. Who on Devin Haney's record was supposed to hurt him? Devin Haney hasn't fought a puncher yet in his career. A lot of Devin Haney fans, a lot of these pro-Haney channels will tell you Linares was this big puncher because he has more knockouts than Devin has fights, or that more knockouts than Tank has fights. That's what they'll tell you. That's why Linares is a big puncher. But that's a misleading stat. What you got to look at is the knockout percentage. And when you look at it, Jorge Linares has 47 wins, and in those 47 wins, he has 29 knockouts, which makes his knockout percentage only 61%. Come on, man. Like, come on, man. That's the big puncher. That's the huge puncher. No, he's a semi-puncher. I give it to him. 61% ain't bad. And that's the only somewhat puncher that Devin has been in the ring with so far. And we've seen him get hurt. We've seen him get Bambi legs. The only fight in his career against a guy that has some type of pop, he got Bambi legged. And you got to factor in the kind of competition that Jorge Linares was knocking out. He hasn't knocked out anybody with a solid name. His best win is Luke Campbell, and that came in a split decision. Like, come on, man. Was JoJo supposed to hurt him? With his 15 knockouts in 32 fights for 46%? Was he the one that was supposed to hurt him? Was Cambosis and his 50% knockout ratio supposed to hurt him? That's the one that was supposed to hurt him? Like, come on, man. And then we're just talking about these guys ain't the same level of puncher that Gervonta Davis is. We're not even factoring in that they're not even the same level skill-wise as Gervonta Davis. They don't have the same speed as Gervonta Davis, the same explosiveness as Gervonta Davis. It's a completely different animal. And we've seen all these guys get their shots off on Devin Haney. But according to Devin Haney fans, when it comes to Gervonta Davis, he's just going to flip the switch and turn into Floyd Mayweather and not get touched at all. He going to flip the switch and turn into Shakur and not get touched at all. When we haven't seen him do it with the lesser guys. Like, I just don't understand it. That's why I want this fight real bad as a Tank fan. I just don't understand how people can't see what I see, which is common sense. When you factor in, we all knew that he was going to hurt Ryan because Luke Campbell hurt Ryan. It's the same exact situation here. Linares hurt Devin. Tank is going to hurt Devin bad. But other than that, make sure y'all support this fight this weekend so we can get the Devin and Tank fight. We know Tank team tell us all the time that if the numbers are right, they'll make the fight. You know what I mean? So support this fight, even if you don't like Devin, even if you're going to fall asleep halfway through the fight, support it. So Devin Haney fans, do your part. Support the fight. Don't give Tank's team no excuse. And Devin, do your part. Put on a performance to where the fans and the people watching are going to say, nah, we need to see Tank versus Devin. Do that. Just like when Tank just fought, we saw Saquon Barkley come out and say, man, I need to see Tank versus Shakur. Because Shakur looked amazing his last performance too. So that's the fight that people want to see. And that's the fight perceived by me and the many others as the best fight in the entire sport of boxing. So prove us wrong. Show us it's you. Stop Lomachenko. You know, Team Haney, y'all know I told y'all that cycle was going to start where they was going to be talking about Devin was knocking out everybody in the gym. Devin growing into his man body, all that type shit. His coach actually did it in his interview too.
I hold hands for him. Devin dropped me with body shots. And you tell me he can't punch, I know he can punch. You know what I'm saying? So whatever.
And you got more heavyweights than you got lightweights.
Yes. And like I say, Devin, this is the strongest I haven't been with Devin in camp. Devin's strong.
You know, they doing it again. They setting us up for disappointment again. They do this before every fight. He getting so strong. He hurting everybody in the gym. But I'm going to be real with y'all. I think it's working on me again. Don't ask me why, but I'm leaning towards a Devin Haney stoppage over Lomachenko now. I even had a dream about it. I had a dream that Devin was going to stop Lomachenko. But am I setting myself up for disappointment again? Most likely. But that's what I got for y'all. I'm out.